Alrighty, for today's fun vid, we have a computer here that happens to be running. Let me fix that. We have a Seagate hard drive here, and we have a comment from someone who thinks that hard drives are the most fragile things on this earth. The backstory behind this comment, it's a video about a pretty smart YouTuber basically going through some old technology, and what he does in this specific spot of the video is essentially this on top of the running hard drive. And this person's like, "Ooh, you're gonna kill it." So I said no. This person quadrupled down, and so now we're making a video. We're going to show that hard drives are not really that fragile. So we're going to plug the hard drive in. We're going to give it SATA data so the system keeps it awake. We're going to give it SATA power. We're going to start off doing some pretty mild stuff. Then with it powered off, we're going to take a hammer. We're going to put a little dent in the corner somewhere, probably over here or over here. So the goal of this project is to essentially run a web server off of this hard drive, and that's going to run a PHP script that essentially gets the smart data for this and also runs stress tests every once in a while. So while this drive has been physically damaged, what we're essentially going to be doing is a stress test until it dies. Okay, I now have it plugged in, I have the system plugged in, and I have a tool. We're going to be inflicting a couple of shocks to it. These things are tested usually to withstand, according to Google, 25 to 70 Gs while running. So that's probably going to be more than that, but we don't know. And we'll see. You can hear the hard drive spinning up. Sounds healthy enough. I heard something. And then we'll give it kind of a drop like that. We're gonna listen to it. It's still spinning. And I assume this is a 4-platter drive based on the thickness of it. So there's a lot of heads in there. I'm gonna power cycle it. I heard it click off. All right, we're back with our tools. Now the thing is, I want to be careful when I'm putting a dent in it because I don't want this case to collapse and press down on the spindle, which is really easy to do. So we're just going to kind of... I'm not satisfied with that. Let's do a little... I'll do like a kind of thing. And let's give it a listen. The startup sequence sounded a little more pronounced. That could be the way that it's sitting on the concrete, but the sounds were in the same order. I'm going to assume that it's fine. There would be no real reason that it wouldn't be fine, so let's go try to install Linux on it. Alrighty, we are here in the den. We just made our USB. USB is there, drive's here, it's plugged into SATA. Let's give it a go, we'll see what happens. I don't know what's gonna happen. You can hear the drive. I'll try that again. Sometimes that display cable works loose. It's a little bit annoying. Okay, I see it looks like a Seagate terabyte, 3 and then 1000, so that's a 1 terabyte. We're going to UEFI boot this PMAP device, which is our Ubuntu server installer. Okay, can you see? Hopefully you can see. An IP address. Looks like our mirror is fine. And it also automatically chose the right drive. And now what I want to do while this is installing is I'm going to take this support hard drive down. We have this hard drive here and you can hear its activity. I just want to get that out of the way so that we kind of know the level of abuse that we've given it. Okay, now we need to install some tools. So for our web server, we need Apache. And you guys can't see, so let me fix that. Hopefully that works. Apache 2. We're going to need Smart Mon tools. PHP, and then there's some others I think we'll need later. We'll need Nano as well. Okay, and then we're gonna transition to our laptop. So first of all, we're gonna get an LSB LK. And what that's gonna show us is that the only drive in the system is our 1 terabyte drive, and we're doing IPA. And what you're looking for is not IPv6, you're gonna be looking for this IPv4 10.88.65.195. Okay, hopefully that's a little bit visible. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna connect to the right network, and it looks like we are. SSH 10.88.65.195. Yes. We're in, all right? So if we do LSBLK, you'll see right there that we're dealing with a 1 terabyte hard drive. And when we do IPA, obviously it's going to show the same IPv4 as well as IPv6. So we're working with the same system. The system's booted off the hard drive that we just took a hammer to. That's the point. So I'm going to time lapse while I work on building this code, and I'll show you what it does. Real quick, if we go to 10.88.65.195, we do get the Apache page, so our Apache install worked. So now comes the montage of building code. Okay, so this boilerplate code that we have, basically it's something that I've already kind of built before, so I'm kind of just following what I've done. But we have a basic system. It shows the model of the drive. It shows the serial number of the drive. This serial number is 9VP-CPD-7V. And if we look at the drive, I'm going to spin you around here. You should be able to see 9VP-CPD-7V. So it is the same drive. And it is the only drive in the system. That's an important denotion to make. The temperature is wrong, but that'll be fixed. So let me continue on with the code editing and we'll be back. Alright, so what we have here is our IOPS test. So we made a little script that essentially goes through and does some IOPS tests on the drive. What we have is essentially 50 megabyte chunks. So we did 1.7 gigabytes worth of 50 megabyte chunks, and that basically means we did 34 operations. And it gives the date. We'll use this as part of our PHP script. So we see our result here now that we've added that to our PHP. We're gonna do some date formatting now. We're gonna also fix the temperature, and we're gonna rename this ops thing to be a little more descriptive. Alright, so we can see that we have 15,500 hours. We have a working temperature now, 38°C. If I go and feel the drive, it feels about that temperature, sure. And we have our test result here with the proper data now. So let's keep trudging on. Okay, so all that looks good. The website functions. What we're going to do is we're going to restart it now. We're just going to make sure it boots up fine without issues. So sudo reboot now, and I will point you at the monitor, which is right here. To manually zoom on this. So we see it didn't take a terrible amount of time to boot up and post and all that kind of stuff. So I would say that the hard drive is suitable to be put in the data center. So what we're going to do is we're going to seal it up. We're just also going to prove right here. There's dents. So you can see the dent there. You can see the dent there. The one there. This is the hard drive that we hit with the hammer. Hopefully it's good. We'll see though. Alrighty, so as promised, we are out in the garage. We have our Dell Optiplex here. You can see, well, probably the actual physical dents in the drive. So what we're gonna do, just so that there's no accusations of, oh, it's not the same drive or whatever, we're gonna try to one-take this. So, sealed shut, same system. In my hand, probably gonna drop it, there we go. Go into the noisy room of servers. So our spot is up there on top of the rack. So let me get situated, I'm gonna point the camera up. Alright, we have the server here still. It's the same machine. Try to get it up there. Up here is probably the best spot because I won't be touching stuff up here. There won't be a reason for it to go off. There won't be anything. So we got our power here that goes to UPSB down here through this power strip, or power bar. And then we've got our data center network connection coming through that tube into G102 on our data center core switch. So hopefully this is long enough. It looks like it's not going to be, so let's just plug it in and rotate it, I guess. Not really a whole lot we can do. Just make sure we get our network activity lights, and we do. We're just going to keep rotating it. There we go, that should be good. There's our test machine, racked in the data center next to all the other goodies. So let's return back to the laptop We'll SSH back into it on dot 195, and we'll continue from there. Okay, and we are back. So it looks like the system came on the network because we're able to load the page on dot 195. And if we go to SSH, we get a password prompt. So we're still able to SSH into it, and our smart status stuff is still okay. So to recap, what we've done, we have taken a hard drive, one that this guy basically said would die by tapping on it. And we tapped on it with various different methods, including fingers, screwdrivers, and also hammers. A mix of while it was on and off, basically more than you should ever do to a hard drive. After we did that, we installed Linux on it, and we got a web server running with some custom code that shows us the actual statistics of the drive specifically. This system also goes through and does periodic tests, because part of their request was, hold on, I gotta go back. While making it your primary hard drive in your machine, so it has constant read-write cycles to it and regular power that you want. So that should cover all the bases. Obviously, I'm not gonna take my 3-2-1 rule out of everything and put one copy of my important data. This is good enough. This is already enough to prove that this person is a little bit out there when they say the things they say sometimes. But this page will be public until that hard drive dies. So the next step is going to be putting this on the data center actual network itself. Right now it's kind of on our management network, so one moment while I do that. Okay, excuse me there, I got a little sidetracked. The DNS servers were completely full to the brim with logs, so I had to fix that. But we're gonna go do 5.1. And also, for some reason, Chrome OS is unable to SSH to IPv6 addresses, so I don't know. I just work here and I'm honestly tired and ready to go to bed. So we need to go to HA proxy. We need to modify our backend so that, see, hard drive test, here we are, so that it uses the new IP address that we provisioned for it. So 2602 F6A F FC10 807 port 80. And what that should do is should apply that to our front end, hopefully. So harddrive.f6af.net, and now we have an actual domain. The problem is that it's not. Oh, it was just whining because of the freaking Apache thing. Whatever. So, anyone who wants to go check out the server will be up forever, at least until the hard drive dies. And this web page here, including the serial number that was included, or sorry, the model and the serial number right here, that was physically shown in the earlier video where I went up to the hard drive and I compared it to this, and it was the same. This serial number is a direct representation of the hard drive currently in the system. So here's your evidence that hard drives are not fragile little babies. Anyways, all the rest of the information that's necessary will be in the description of the video below. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.